Welcome back.
Hey, Carly. So we are back. Podcast number 2. Yay, we're on a roll. Let's
Yeah, we
go.
really are.
So, since our last podcast, did you see if we got views and likes? Did anybody from your side get to see it, comment?
I did have cousins that watched it. Well, a cousin. She's amazing. Her name's Madonna. So shout out to her. She
Yay.
is actually moving like I am. So I haven't been able to check the views. What about you?
I haven't checked the views either, but I did have some family members watch it. I was really touched. I was like, "You watched the whole 45 minutes." So I appreciate it. So
Oh,
yeah, so I had one of my aunts watch it, and then my sister, she's like, "So when's the next one coming out?" I'm like, "All
oh,
right, we
cute.
got fans."
Yeah, we do. I love that. Great, because I was so honestly, this whole move has been horrendous. You know about it. So maybe this week we'll be able to keep up with the views and who watched episode number 2. You know.
I know, exactly. So, I mean, let's just get right into it. So I was gonna start with like what has been the theme this past week for you. Like, if you could put a word to it, if you could put a name, and then let's go into what you've been up to.
You want to go first or me?
You go ahead, and then I'll go.
My theme this week has been I'm just going with the waves. That's my theme. As you know, this is my fourth state in 1 year: Texas, Oklahoma, New York, you know, Pennsylvania. So it's been rocky.
Yeah.
But whatever space I always thought that I needed to be in an area to give me magic. And this theme this week was I am the magic. I take it with me. That's it. Like, I don't need a city to provide magic for me. I am the magic, and the magic goes
I
with me. I
love
go.
that. I'm gonna write that down. I am the magic.
I
Oh my
am the
God.
magic. Yeah, I don't need something to validate how I feel. Like, I take the magic, I bring the magic. I am sufficient. I have the magic. You know,
Oh,
that's what
that's
I am. That's
freaking
my theme. What
awesome.
about you?
Okay. That is awesome. I think you got me beat on that. My theme for this past week has been gratitude.
There we go.
Gratitude. Even for the hard things, it's been so like for me, like you've been moving, that has been your challenge this week. I officially resigned from my 9 to 5 so that I
Wow.
can officially pursue my businesses. Like, as you know, I have 2 businesses I am managing right now and trying to get off the ground.
You're taking
So
that leap.
I am taking that leap of faith. So this week has been gratitude. Even as I, like first and foremost, I am grateful for my family. I'm grateful that, for my mom right now, like with everything that my mom is going through right now, she is actively fighting cancer, and we can't think about tomorrow. All we can think about is today, and she is here with us, and she is a lot of the inspiration behind everything that I'm doing. And, she reminds me that life is short, and we can't live a day not living in our purpose. Like,
I love that.
yeah. So my
Wow.
theme, yeah. So my theme has been gratitude, even gratitude for this job that I had. And even though I just exited it, I exit on a very high note. Everybody was very respectful and understanding of why I left, and I even, like, in my exit interview, I was like, "Thank you for everything. Thank you for the last 3 years. Everything that I had here, I will take it with me." And there was no animosity, there was no anger. It was just like, it's time. Like, it is time for me to move on to my next chapter. And I'm grateful for this last decade of working. And for me, it was in the medical device industry. And so that chapter, it was very bittersweet. I was crying on and off throughout the week because it was a closing of a chapter and moving on to a new one. So
Yeah.
it's always sad, when you're closing one, but, exciting to start the next one.
Bittersweet. It's a new challenge. Like, you've already worked as hard as you could with the last part of your chapter, so now it's on to learning a new you.
Exactly. And like, I definitely wanted to touch on more because I think what would be really helpful is to kind of explain to the audience on how did, like, I think a lot of people would like to know, like, what planning went to, like, when you finally decided to start your own business and then actually taking the leap. There was a lot of decisions and a lot of prep work that led up to this. This was actually about a year and a half to almost 2 years in the making. So it wasn't like spur of the moment, I quit my
Right.
job. Like, there was
No,
a
no midlife.
lot that led up to this. And yeah, like, I definitely want to go into that, but I don't want to take away from you. Like, what's been going on with this move? You had company this week. Like, so tell me about that. I think you said you had your grandma over this week?
Had my grandma over and
Ah,
she was out, like having a good time with us. She loves the city. Um, she can she can go. Like that lady can go. I hope to be half of her when I get her age. Like she's just literally I think this week she's going to I don't know if she just got back from San Antonio, came here, and then she's going to I think Miami or something. I have no idea, but she's always traveling. She runs her own business. She has a tax office, so she works 6 months throughout the year, and the rest of the 6 months she's traveling.
okay, grandma. Look at
Yeah,
that. Another entrepreneur. See, so
yeah,
you're cut from that same cloth, man. It runs
yeah.
in your blood.
I think so. I mean, that's pretty much all that I have, recently going on besides these changes with we're getting all the packages and getting moved in, but um, it's brought, like I said, new challenges for me to be like, okay, I can't just suck the energy out of wherever I'm at. Like, I need to be able to just provide that, like, I don't need validation from a city. I don't need validation from, you know, anything but me. I am the magic, and that was the challenge of learning, because New York and Manhattan has always been my dream, and moving out of it has been it's been hard to accept. And that was one thing that I
Emotional.
wrote down. Right, like that was one of the wins. It's like, okay, not being able to control your emotions is one thing, but accepting it, So that's what I've been learning, like trying to wrap my head on controlling my emotions because as my husband says, if you can't control your emotions, you can't control your money. So that's always been something that I've like challenged myself with. Right now, I'm just learning how to accept things. We weren't just moving because we wanted to. We had to move because my husband's career. So I'm learning to accept it and embrace it. Like everything happens for a reason. I just need to embrace it and understand that I am, pouring into me, and I don't need something with lights and buzz to pour into me. At that, like our country's in a little whim right now. I can't, you know, suck the lights out of the city. I have to give the lights to the city. I don't even know if that makes sense.
No, it totally
Metaphorically. Yeah.
100% makes sense, and I can relate more than you know. Like, I've had this kind of same experience while I was coming up to deciding to leave and take this venture. A lot of God, you have no idea. I can relate to this so much, and especially because of coming from our backgrounds, a lot of what we get validation from is, the car we drove, the clothes we wear, the place we lived. Like, we needed that because of where we came from. We needed to show ourselves and show the world, hey, I rose above it. I am valuable. I am worthy. And that was a big part of the identity I got out of my career as well, was like, I'm a corporate girly, I'm a six-figure earner, I'm this, I'm that, like. And every time, because I've lost my job multiple times. It's just the nature of my industry. Layoffs happen. So I would lose my job and then be devastated because it was part of my identity, and I'm like, if I'm not that, then what am I? And just like you, I'm having to realize I was that girl. I am that girl. No matter where I am, no matter
Yeah,
what I have, I am that girl.
you
Like, I
are.
can lose it all and build it again tomorrow. I could wear rags and still walk around like I'm the boss because I am now that person. It is in the inside. We have that magic 100% because right now I have gotten rid of a lot of these very luxurious things that I've had in my life, like my nails. I took off my nails. I put up my Mercedes up for sale. I've gotten rid of so many. I sold one of my Toomey bags yesterday, actually, my laptop Toomey bag. And in my head, all I'm thinking is like, take it because it no longer defines me. It is not my identity anymore. I am
Yeah.
still that. I still am that bitch without it. Without it, I don't need it, you know? So
No.
I can totally relate. If anything, there's something very liberating about it is like you could take it all away from me and it's still in me. You can't take
Yeah, it
this.
just
This is
right.
still me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly what I've learned. Like this whole throughout these state moves, like I've learned that like I am my full package, and I think that was how I attracted my husband because at the time I was just so obsessed and in love with myself, and I have loved my flaws and my purposes. I loved it all, and I think that's what attracted my husband to me is because I loved myself. And I think it takes a lot of work to get to a situation to where you're like, I love me, I love my skin, I love my hair, I love my flaws, I love, and you start attracting not only people that belong in your life, but friends. You attract opportunities like that. And so I'm so grateful to be in that position in life to like, okay, these aren't the ideal circumstances I'd want, but I have to just accept it and embrace it and see what comes out of that, because what other opportunities are going to come out of losing, I'm not saying that I'm losing, but I'm just saying like if you switch that mindset to say, okay, what opportunities can this show me? What could it get me? Where how far could it take me? That's what I've just been accepting, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, 100%. It is. You're not losing anything. You're just. It's almost like I actually shared this story with my sister. Like sometimes when you're going through a life transition, it's almost like you're removing one shell to put on another shell. You know, like those hermit crabs. So like we just took off our old shell because we outgrew it. You know, so we're
Yeah,
getting our new
that is
bedazzled
such a
shell.
good metaphor. Oh my God. I love that. I remember those little shells. They'd come like in different sizes, different
Yeah.
decor, like different moods. So yeah, I 100% agree
Yeah.
with you.
So
That's just
we
life.
just people just caught us between our shells. Okay, we're just right between our shells right now. I'm naked right now.
All my vulnerabilities are out. All my
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
when you love your flaws and your vulnerabilities, I think that is the best weapon that you could have. Like learning that those are you and that you know how to fight with or against them. Like I think that is the most beautiful thing about life is learning all your little detailed imperfections and learning how to, you know, use them as a weapon and as your best qualities because you really can.
There are superpowers, girl. They are our
Mm.
superpowers. 100%. You know.
So, yay us
I,
for
like
switching our shells.
yes, I 100% believe like especially like again going back to like our backgrounds because of where we came from, because of having nothing, because of like starting from negative. Like I think I just released a TikTok on this saying that not everybody starts at zero. Some people start in the negative. That was us. We didn't even get to start at zero. We started at negative. So just to even get to the playing field, you know, we had to work our butts off. And so something like going to college is like our Mount Everest, where other people it's just like their stepping stone. But
Yeah.
because of having to fight so hard to get where we are at in life, when obstacles hit us, we can handle them a lot better than other people. You're like, oh, this ain't shit. You know,
Yeah, no,
what
because
I
it's
went through. This is
no.
nothing.
Yeah, and there are, because my husband would be one of those that had the stepping stone that, went to Jesuit. I could handle things a lot more differently than, throughout this move. He probably handled a little more than I could, but there are times where I'm like, I've handled that really well. The old me like would have been devastated, but because I've been through so much, you're right. Like we're a step ahead of the game. Like we know how to use all of the bad things that happen to us as a weapon, as like, hey, like this is me. I'm gonna push forward. I already been this. I already been through it. So eating at home 6 nights out of the week isn't a big deal for us versus people that have had that stepping stone that actually eat caviar twice a month. It is not a step, it's not a sacrifice for them. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't have my caviar this week. But for us, we're like, chorizo and eggs, let's do it. Beans, like we know how to
We know how to
make our dollar
survive.
stretch.
Yes,
Yeah,
we know how to
exactly.
survive. We know how to make a dollar stretch, and you're like, all right, that's cool. I've been here before. I know what to do.
Yeah. It's not like it's not familiar. It is familiar but in a safe way. Like we know how to handle it, you know? Like the odds, we've learned how to be without the odds. The odds have become our friends, you know? Like
Exactly. And you know what's so funny? There's a weird comfort in it. I don't know how to explain it, but
I know
there's,
exactly what you mean.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
so, right now I'm going through this phase where, like, okay, I'm in between my shells, and, I've had to buckle up in finances and get ready because now all my money is about to go into my businesses. It's going to take a lot of capital at first. And so I am very tight. I can't spend on all these luxuries, and I'm scaling back so tremendously. And you know what? There's such a comfort because I was so used to being poor for so long. I'm like, oh, I know this. This is familiar.
Right?
I make $20 last for 2 weeks. I could do this.
There you go. Yeah. It's almost like you already know nothing bad can get worse. So it's like, I know what you mean. You feel safe. You feel like so protected. Like you're like, you know that nothing bad is going to come your way because that is your comfort zone. I
I'm
feel.
so familiar. Like I know how to
Yeah.
survive in this environment. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been here. Like I know how to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. And it makes you feel even more protected because when you're going through life, when you're not familiar with it, it makes you feel a little like standoffish because when things are going too well for us, we're like, wait, what's going to happen?
Whoa, when's the shoe gonna drop? I can't tell you how many
Yes.
people can relate to that for sure. They're like, wait a
Yes.
minute, things are going too smooth. When's something gonna go wrong?
Yeah, yeah, I know. So my husband and I, we just started doing, well, even my little sister, I said, hey, it's Tuesday, what's your word of the day, and it was kind of funny because I said, mine's infuriated.
Ooh,
My word is infuriated. I am infuriated that I'm not in my yacht in Monaco right now. I'm pissed. I'm quite pissed, actually, is what I said to my little sister. I'm pissed off, and she sends me her word. And then I ask my husband, what's your word? He says ghetto. I am tired of hearing your dad's baby mama's ghetto story. And I'm like, out of all the things you could have said, I'm over here trying to be, inspirational. And I think he's just acclimating to the drama. And I think that, growing up with no drama, it's actually quite entertaining for him. Like and it makes me actually see it in a different limelight instead of saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening and so is doing this. It's actually making me take a step back and go, this is hilarious. This isn't even that
like
big of a
when you
deal.
step away from it and see it from the outside, you're like, yeah, you're right. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so that was just the word, and I thought it was cool because I think using those words like infuriated, yeah, we should all be infuriated that we are not exactly where we want to be because that's the fuel that you need to, motivate yourself to go on. Like I am so mad that I'm not in Monaco. Like why am I not there? So I need to work every day, day and night, so I know like I'm getting there. Not doing anything and not being there is fueling me right now. That's my motivation right now.
I love it. I love
Not that it's materialistic, but like to me that is Mount Everest. I want to have my own yacht. I want to have, you know what I mean? Enjoy the fruits of my labor because I feel like going through what we went through growing up was not enough to be like, okay, I have my degree, I'm married, woohoo, I moved out of home. That's not enough for me. Because once you get a taste of not having enough, like you're like, I want more. I want more. So that's just kind of, I think I feel where I'm at right now. Like I'm just like, none of this right now is enough for me. And I'm very scared for the future because I don't know what is going to be enough for me. And I'm not saying material wise, but goals. Why don't I have a six pack instead of a four pack? Like, you know what I mean?
like never enough, huh? I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it does come with a balance of like make sure that as you meet your milestones that you do show some kind of gratitude of like what, I'm grateful to have made it this far, like, and take a look at the scenery on your way to the top of your mountain and looking like look and see, God, I made it this far, like,
Yeah.
dang, look at that, never
Yeah.
even thought I'd get this far and I got this
I know.
far. So
That's
just,
where I'm at.
yeah,
Yeah.
take those
Gratitude.
moments, as you
Yeah.
get those milestones, take a breather, and then,
Smell the flower.
yeah, and I know you, Angelica, you give back to people. You don't just take it all for yourself. Like you've given back to your family. You've done stuff, like whether it's treating somebody to a dinner or like showing somebody a good time just to show them what is possible. Like you do give back and say, hey, like you can do this too. Let me inspire you. I want to bring you up too. So, I think
You're the
because of
same way. I
what's
think
that?
that's why we vibed right away because you're the same way.
Yeah, like it's not a competition. It is like let's everybody get to the top because our top looks different for everybody. Like there isn't a competition. Like you
No.
you want Monaco and yachts. I'm like that's cool. I don't know what I just want freedom. And maybe a private jet here and there. Like I don't even need to have the private jet. I'll charter it. It's fine. you
Yeah,
know,
but it's fun to enjoy it together
yes, yeah. I
because
will definitely be on your yacht. Don't you
yeah,
worry. You're not going without me.
our mutual thing is freedom. So like connecting on the freedom and then charting or doing the yacht stuff, like that is where we can meet in the middle is where our freedom is. And so
Yeah,
you could show me things I've never learned. Like
for
you've been,
sure. For
and
sure.
I show you and I think we try to do that as older siblings is just kind of like, come on, try the berries. They're not poisonous. That
And
I
then,
think it's just
yeah,
ingrained in us as
that,
older.
yeah, and that is the hardest part because you're like, look it, I made it, you can do it, it's possible. And they're like, no, it's scary, no, I don't know that. And then there's like almost this idea of like, only you're special. There's something special about you, and only you were able to do it, and we can't do it. And you're like, no, I'm no different than you. Like, I came
Yeah.
from the same flock. You can
Yeah.
do it too.
Yeah, and that's very hard to get people, family or people that we do know comfortable with accepting that. And I do want to brag as a big sister because now, I've always had my differences with my sisters, but that's the oldest siblings. Like we have to set the record straight. That's just who we are.
Yeah.
But I could finally now say that both of them are in college. Both of them.
Yay!
I know. I want to clap, but I'm holding on to my iPad.
I'm
But
gonna go proud
I
mama.
know. So now I feel closer to what you're saying. Like, okay, come to the side. You know what I mean? Because everything I've ever always told them was just for the best. But I know that like even me, there's things that I still need to change that I'm not there yet. That my husband or you are like, I can't wait to see you progress on this side of life because when you do, you're just gonna shoot up. And so that's how I feel when I see them because I'm like, you guys are gonna learn so much stuff, and they think I'm snobby and things like that. But you know what? Can nobody tell you anything when you're educated, okay?
You can't
Like
take this
that's
from me
just
now.
yeah, like I feel like I got my little human pin. Like I feel normal. It's more than just being educated. It's being normal. And I think that's the biggest strive for me is just to be normal. I mean, a little above average, but normal.
I love it. I love it.
But go ahead. Did you talk about your wins this week?
Okay, so my wins were, well, I guess as of yesterday, I'm really excited. So we know that I left my job already. And so over the weekend, it was just kind of like digesting it all. And then I knew I was going to need to get back on my game. So one of my the two businesses I am building right now, one is a consultation business and one is an e-commerce business. And I'm currently taking a course to educate myself and expedite the process. I've never launched one, so why would I waste my time on trying to do it by myself when there's courses out there that can get me from point A to point B as fast as possible? So
Yeah.
I'm about 75% done with the course, and I'm at a milestone right now where I have created my design for the product that I'm going to make, and I did this intense market research of what the competitors are doing in this space, and then I also looked at all the complaints and pain points of what my
Oh
competitors
wow.
are doing wrong and what customers are complaining about, and I put it all together in this one document and spreadsheet, and like I even did like this PowerPoint picture thing of like, okay, we're going to put all this together, address all their pain points, make all these modifications, and I sent this Excel spreadsheet to two suppliers that I'm quoting with right now in China for this product. So I sent that off as of yesterday, and um, I'm really excited because a lot of what I'm doing right now for this e-commerce business is stuff I was already doing in the medical device industry. I was already designing products. I was already working with suppliers. I was already, collecting the voice of customer to make sure that we were making a product that is in line with what the customer wants and what the market needs. And I'm doing the same thing right now for a fun product, a product that, I don't have to like worry about all the regulations and FDA and all that. So
Wow. So it's a lot smoother.
it is a lot funner. It's a lot funner, and it's just really cool to like watch the competitors in the space that I'm trying to get into. And when I first did my market research, probably like a month ago, there were certain players that were like in the top 10, and then I redid the market research this morning like to reassess who were the top players, and the competitor that was in the number one spot is not even in the top 10. That's how quick you can drop from this space. And that's very scary but also exciting, that nobody can really hold that spot. You have to stay on your game because there's competitors constantly entering the market who are hungry like me, who've done their freaking homework.
Research.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
just watch out. It actually made me very excited. I'm like, there's nobody that has the modifications that I'm about to bring to this product. So I'm like, look out, world. It's going to be so good. I'm so
Look at
excited.
you. Do you feel like your education and your career helped you to be in a position to feel and propel yourself to get this place, to this area?
100%. That's a great question. Yes, because at first, when I was about to take this leap, I felt like I was throwing away my career. I was like, what am I doing? It was so scary because I had worked so hard for that at one point. And now I realized I'm bringing it all with me. The education came with me. The career and experience came with me. I took it all with me, and now I'm pulling it into
Wow.
me instead of
Those fundamentals, yeah.
yes.
That's amazing. That's so good. It really, really bothers me when everyone that I talk to is like, you don't need a degree to be successful. That like irks me because I'm like, you're gonna need those fundamentals. Maybe it's those people with the stepping stone that maybe have a similarity in sharing those same stories, but statistically, 88% of millionaires have a degree. So do what you want to do with that. I just hate when people downplay it. I get it; it's a lot of debt and stuff, but you're gonna take those things with you no matter what
And
to other places.
people always like to point out like Mark Zuckerberg, and who was the other one who didn't finish? Bill Gates. I don't think Bill Gates
Yeah,
finished. And but these are like one in a million. Like these are
yeah,
just geniuses in their own way. Unless you're a genius, you might need some kind of foundation. And
yeah,
honestly, I'll speak for myself. Like, everybody can, speak for themselves. But in my scenario, I felt like my eyes opened up once I went through college. I had seen the world through a very narrow lens until I went to college. And then it was like, oh my God, the world is like this big. I
yeah.
had only been looking this small.
Same.
So that's why I needed it. It opened up my perspective on everything. Like I took like a comparative religion course, and it taught me all these religions of the world. And then I've taken, political science and learned how our, politics work, so just all of these things that I would not have had exposure to had I not gone to college. So
Yeah.
in my case, it was a phenomenal baseline for me to build on.
Same. Yeah, because like you said, we started at negative, so those fundamentals, those that just wasn't there. It wasn't given. It wasn't provided. So to find that we could have that in ourselves to provide that, and that way our future generations are on a step ahead instead of starting negative is a great thing because I feel that way now. Now I feel like now that I've got that out of the way, now I can really apply what I did learn and really push to do what I want to actually do. Because now I'm not afraid of anything. Because anything I was afraid of, I've already done. I've already thrown that out. I've already checked,
Woo!
checked, checked, and so it just feels better to be like, what can I not do? You know? And
Focus
so
on
I'm
that
just so
now.
grateful. Yeah. Yeah. And I probably wouldn't have been able to handle all of these moves if I didn't go through that because, like you said, it was such a narrow mindset. Like I was just like, nope, Texas or nothing. Like born and raised here, don't plan on leaving. It was never my intentions to leave until getting through and done with school, getting married, and doing that normal cycle of life. Now I'm like, I don't even don't I might not want to live in America anymore. Just being as open as I am now, like where I've been, what I've learned, what I've read. I just feel like there's so much more to the world than just America, and I love our country. It's great. But it just, if I didn't go through school, I probably wouldn't have been as open minded, you know?
Agreed. Agreed.
I would have been comfortable on food stamps and handouts.
Yeah,
And that's
because
all I
that's what
knew.
we knew growing up, like
Yeah.
that's what we saw.
Yeah. And we thought
So,
it was normal.
yeah, totally. I don't
Well,
understand how you would think anything else, like if that's what you saw in
right?
your childhood.
I took my husband to one of the tiendas in the hood, and he was like, "What's ABT? I feel left out. I need to get an ABT card." And I'm like, "No, no, no." I
You
had to
didn't know what
explain.
EBT was.
Oh. So it just feels good to like, okay, I'm glad we had the experience, and I no longer have to rely on those resources. Not downplaying anyone that has to or anything, but it just feels good to know that, hey, like, we've overcome that barrier of handouts. Like, we aren't victims, and we don't need these assistants. Like, we can do it. We don't have to rely on these things like we did when we were growing up.
Yeah. So, what would you say are your wins this week?
Well, just accepting everything that's come to me. Like, now I'm just more open to accepting anything. Like now I'm just like, if we have to move, I probably won't do it again because I've done it 4 times in a year. But
That's a
I'm
lot.
just I've just but with the moves it's taught me to accept things that are just, you don't have to accept things and make them your reality. You don't have to. But it'd be better to do that so you can be open to opportunities. Who knows? I might meet more people here that benefit my business. In fact, this building, I know that religion probably is a little taboo to talk about, but this building is full of Jewish people and we're Jewish. So like, in the Jewish religion we feel that if people are owning their own businesses, we all support each other. So even if we don't need it or anything, like the neighbor's a rabbi, so like we're gonna go support her. Or so it just feels good to be
It's
in
a
a position
community. Yeah.
supported, and yeah, and getting settled. I was reading my notes because I took notes before the call, but just accepting it and learning that every avenue has an opportunity. That's where I'm at right now. Like whether it's good, bad, hey, I'm accepting it because I feel that there's just opportunities on every avenue. And I never used to be comfortable with accepting that. So that is my win this week.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
What about
So, yeah, my win was submitting my design this week, so I'm excited.
heck yeah?
So,
And,
yeah, we're making progress towards our goals little by little, just
yeah.
even if it's little, it
Increments.
adds up. I've always thought about that. Like, even when it came to college, I started off with like one or two classes, and and I know it sounded like it was going to happen slow, but in my head, I thought, you know what, a year is going to pass regardless. So at least I could have one or two classes done, and so I've
Right.
always thought about it that way. I'm like, even if I make a small change, at least in a year, I'll be that much more further ahead and this will be behind me. So every day I try to
100%.
do even if it's something little towards my business, one of the businesses or the other. So I try to do something little every day. Um, let's see.
That's
What are,
amazing. That's so good. It's like just adding to we're like little ants. We're just adding to our little pile.
yes,
Like
exactly.
I
Exactly.
feel that way too. And I think, pouring encouraging words to yourself daily and in your head, telling yourself, I am amazing, I am wealthy, I am rich in spirit. I think telling yourself those things, because I tell myself those things before I go to bed, and I wake up and I'm like, okay, it's a new day, new avenue, new opportunity, like I think that people need to be gentle with themselves and not hurt themselves or um, influence themselves to feel bad in the process that they're in. Like I felt this was a hard process to move 4 states in 1 year, but I couldn't not be gentle with myself. I had to be like, I am amazing, I am good, I am a great person, I am a great wife. And doing that every night before I go to bed, I wake up more with more patience and more gratitude, like you said, and I'm more like, okay, if there's a challenge, there's an opportunity. It is what it is. That's just where I'm at right now. Like if there's a challenge, there's an opportunity.
Yeah, your mindset really makes all of the difference. Like, it's only a problem if you look at it as a problem. It can also be an opportunity if you look at it as an opportunity. It's whatever you're looking at it with. And agreed, I think mindset is like 90% of what gets you to success. and 10% of actually following through with what like actions align with that. Um,
The
so
discipline.
yeah, so like myself, every day, every single day, I've been doing a combination of meditation and affirmations for about 20 minutes to sometimes an hour and 20 minutes in the morning, and just hammering, 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 hammering. Like I was telling my sister today, I said, I am sanitizing my brain with so much positivity that there is no time and no room for any negative bacteria to grow. Like it is
Wow.
100% like dousing it with so much possibility. It's so like I'll give you for example, like now I'm so light and so positive, even though my businesses probably have only made like a couple dollars to date, like nothing much yet. So but I'm so positive, and I'm so sure that I'm sure that everything is going to work out now, because that's the programming I've been giving myself. That today I had a business lunch with some of my old coworkers, and they don't know. I haven't shared everything of like what I'm doing and what I'm working on, but they were like, do you have another plan? Are you going to get a part-time job? Like
Like, I am the plan.
you can hear the fear, and I'm like, you're working off that old programming.
Oh, wow. I didn't think about that.
Because I have no fear now. I have no fear. I'm like, because in my head, I already surrendered the old life. The old life was the nine to
Yeah.
five. The old
And
life
you
was the
know,
Mercedes. The old life was all these, luxuries and all of that. Like, it's great. I had that experience. I am grateful, but I am ready for the bigger shell. I
let me tell you something. So, you
what?
want to know how I know that everything you're speaking is 100% true?
Tell
The
me.
other day, I was having a moment and I was like, I'm not going to text Jasmine because I'm not going to mess up her high. Like, that's how strong your vibe is.
What?
Yeah. Like, I wasn't going to put you in my ship boat because I was in a ship boat for an hour, but I was like, whatever. Like, I'm not going to. No, like, you are so high that refrain from telling you anything negative because it is. I'm so, like, I respect you that much and I see your journey and I see how hard you and how long you've come that I'm just like, yeah, right. 1 ounce of little negativity. I'm not going to do that. I love you too much to respect you to know that you're on your way. And so the last thing I want to text you is my umbrella broke in the rain, like because you're on a roll. So it feels great to
I
know that.
really appreciate that, but you should know, and I've said this to my sister, my other friends, you can call me whenever, because that's what we're here for each other. Because I'm not always going to be up, and when I'm not up, I'm going to lean on you to help me up, because we're sisters and we're supposed to help each other up.
Right.
And you
I
might feel
know.
better, and I might even be able to give you a different perspective on whatever you're going through because I'm riding this high. So,
Yeah,
yeah, don't ever, ever, ever be afraid not to reach out to me, because I reach
I
out to you
will.
when I'm having a hard time. So, lean on
Oh,
me.
good. I will. But I was just like complimenting how
Aw.
like positive you were. Like you're just on this, and it's so amazing to see. And it actually helped me, rewire my brain. Like I'm like, it's not a challenge; it's an opportunity. So just to see how you are on your high horse, it's helped me. You
Oh,
know.
I'm so happy. And again, I mean, this is a great thing to talk about, is the importance of why we need to pursue our dreams, the importance of why we need to live our purpose. Because when we are on that correct vibration, when we're on that right path, we light up the room, we light up everybody around us. And I remember feeling like that with you at one of the brunches and that we had, and I just remember it actually did, it had an up and a down for me. It one made me realize that I had gotten comfortable. And I'm like, this girl is still hungry and she's still going for it. And I'm over here fat and happy in my 6-figure job. And I'm like, no, I loved having $1 in a dream. I freaking loved having $1 in a dream. You feel alive when you have $1 in a dream. And I remember seeing it in you and hearing it in your voice. And I'm like, girl, you made me realize I am thinking small. I got
Oh.
comfortable. And you woke something up in me that day. And I was like, oh no, we got to get back to it. We got to get back to it. So,
It was the music.
It was the music, but it really was your words. It was the fact that you unapologetically talk about the life you're gonna have. You're not skittish, you're not shy. You're like, I'm gonna have the yacht in Monaco. I'm gonna do this over here, and we're gonna buy a house in this country, and you said it so matter of fact that I was like, that's exactly how we're supposed to be talking. We're supposed to talk like that now before we have it. That's how we manifest it, And I'm like, like some people
Be a
out,
woman of your word.
yeah, but some people outside of our group would be like, you two are delirious. You guys are like out of your mind. And
Delusional.
my response to that is yes. You gotta be delirious. You gotta be so freaking delirious that you actually make it happen. Because then you're gonna walk in that energy, and you're like you have met celebrities. You have walked in, and you talk like you're already there, and so they believe you.
I know. I partied with Matt Damon and his wife, me and my husband. And
I
and I was
know.
thinking about that last night. I was like, wow, only I partied with movie stars.
Yes,
Like this is crazy. But you have to be delusional. Like I remember one
100%.
time I shouldn't talk about it, but I broke up with this dude once, and the girl called me at like 3 in the morning, and he was a very bad person. So he calls, the girlfriend calls. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry I missed your call. I was in Monaco shooting for GQ. Like I'm in the Hamptons right now. What do you want? Like I am so like I will like talk out of my butt because I know it's gonna happen. Like I was in the Hamptons last week for a whole
You
2 days. It was
were.
amazing.
I saw your
Now,
story.
yeah. So like even just talking like that, they actually come into fruition.
It
Fruition. Like
really
those
does.
words. Like I never even thought of me even being in the Hamptons. I think I said that one time in my life, and then boom, I was in the Hamptons. So like words have power. You have to be careful what you say. You have to mean what you say. You have to be a woman of your word. Like I somehow still have to go get my PhD if that is going to happen because I said it on the damn national television when I was on the news. So now I'm a word of my word woman of my word. So now I have to go get a PhD because I said it on TV live.
Well, this is actually perfect because we have just a couple minutes left, and I want to leave off with like, so what are the goals for this week? What are we working on this week? So now, what is it? What have you decided which path you're going to work on, or what have
Oh
you been
yeah.
working on to go into next week?
Well, what I'm gonna do next week is, well, get settled. We're literally like we still have boxes in the living room. It's crazy. So right now, I'm gonna give myself another 12, 14 days to get completely settled. And then I'm going to continue. We're getting our desk for our offices, so building my little office and just going and pouring into my business. That's what I want to do. I think I told you one day I was having tea at the plaza. One of the guys working at the plaza noticed Carl's watch, my husband's watch, and I told him I made watch boxes, and he's like, I know Tommy Hilfiger, he would love this. So I basically landed him as a client. So I'm like trying to work my butt
Hurry up,
off to,
girl.
yeah, I need to get the office going. I need to get my music going so I can just start building and fixing these boxes. That's really what I want to do. And in between the time, I probably will apply for like a PhD program if they have one online offered. But I'm never probably going to stop getting an education. I think I fell in love with that. And I think that it gives me more security as a person to know that like, okay, you can take my Range Rover, you can take my whatever you want to take, but you're not going to take what I've learned and what I put in to learn, and you can't really emulate that,
Yeah.
And so I know that I have that gift and that discipline, and I'm going to channel it to whatever I can. I'm going to echy la ganas.
Échale ganas.
What
I
about
love
you?
it. Sí se puede.
Sí se puede. Where's what is it? What are those marachis?
Oh,
Macarons?
maracas?
Maracas, there you go. I had the two different words, but you got the point. That's what I feel like. What about you?
So, this next week now, I am officially self employed and I'm working on two businesses.
Two
So,
with the snaps.
I know, snaps. So, yeah, it's just continuing trying to get this e-commerce off the ground. I'm at the point where if if these suppliers can do my design, then we are going to move into the next phase, which is negotiate pricing, put contracts in place, and then order some samples. So I
Wow, I can't
know,
wait.
big things
That's the best
happen.
part of it. I know. Oh my gosh, that's the best part. Like,
Oh, and I have to
you're
tell you,
basically,
the most
yeah.
exciting part is like it's almost like the universe, God has already put all the people in my like you already got customers lined up. I already have a whole network like ready to work with me. So I was just in Denver with one of my girlfriends who's about to get married, and she is an Amazon influencer. And she was like, when your product is done, send it to me. I will do a review. I will, and she does already really beautiful like videos and everything and reviews. She's already been an influencer for quite a while, and she's really good. So
Wow.
I'm like, oh my God, I already got my Amazon influencer. And then,
There you go.
yes, and her soon to be husband is also an engineer, and he does like CAD drawings and stuff. And she's like, if you ever need drawings, if you do something more intense and you need an engineer to help you do drawings, I'm like, yay! I've got
So
a whole
cute.
team.
Yeah,
So
you do.
yeah, so little by little, so that's what I'm working on these next weeks. And yeah, so
That's like unveiling, like the most exciting part. You're like going for the reveal. That's the best part. All these nights, all the reading, all the studying, it's
studying.
paid off. It's paying off, you know?
So much is happening behind the scenes that I think that what is going to be really exciting is that when I take off, everyone's going to think that it was overnight. But this is a year and a half now, going on to 2 years in the making, because I actually started my LLC last year. So
Mm-hmm.
it has been a long time in the making. And when I become a millionaire, they're going to think that it happened overnight, but
Then you'll reference back to
it's
this.
been years in the making, and I'm okay. Take my car, take my belongings. I am gambling on me. I put all chips in on me. I'm gambling on me.
Wow. All chips.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
And I
you.
hope whoever is hearing and listening to this, that they find some courage to go get an LLC or go to school or whatever it is that they want to do and find ways to finesse their taxes so we're not paying so much.
Legally. She meant it
Legally.
legally.
Legally, guys.
All right,
Trying to
guys.
help people help them, you know?
Yes, yes. So we're going to sign off now. And as always, like, feel free to ask questions, DM us if there's any topics you'd like us to cover. We're happy to go over them. And until next week, thank you
Until
guys.
next week.
Thank you
Bye.
guys.